Moving on with Vinegar Syndrome's forgotten Giallo set, I watched the utterly wonderful The Killer is One of 13. I love the title of that one, it's tremendous. The movie itself, well, I've always said that Giallo is a bit of a couple of my favourite genres, a whodunit murder mystery and a slasher, and they usually kind of merge these two components together to get a wonderful story. Now, for the first 65 minutes of this 97-minute runtime is most definitely just a whodunit. And reading a couple of the reviews that I've seen, just out of curiosity, a lot of people said that they hated the first half of the movie, or 2/3, because it was very talky. I loved it. I thought it was a wonderful setup for any kind of typical Agatha Christie movie, and feels very much like And Then There Were None. And I think it's so expertly done that I was really curious about everybody and their misgivings and how they were all related. So we have a main character whose husband has died 2 years earlier in a plane crash, and she has invited 12 people to a weekend getaway, a party. So there's 13 people there, and the help that's there as well. And on the opening night, she sits them all down. It's about 10 minutes into the movie, and she sits them all down at dinner, and she lays out everything so quickly into the movie. Yous are all closely connected to my husband. I believe my husband was murdered, and I think one of you did it. Boom! We're into an awesome setup, and I love it. And it doesn't just leave it at that. She starts to bring out all their dirty laundry in front of everybody, how they're related, how some of the wives of the men there have been unfaithful, although she doesn't say who, and leaves all these clues. And for the next 40 to 50 minutes, it just percolates lovely, with everybody starting to slowly suspect everybody else. And it's a wonderful setup, and it's ideal for a whodunit fan like me. I thought it was spectacular. And about the 65-minute mark, things have got so much to a point where somebody's starting to feel cornered. We don't know who the killer is, but they start to take people out. They start to kill people. And they do it in the typical slasher Giallo fashion. Black gloves, sharp instruments, and bloody deaths. And I thought the movie was wonderful. There is some misgivings in the film, and I think I'll talk about them first. Some of the wipes, the transitions are odd. Some of the musical cues feel a little bit jokey at certain points, and unnecessarily such. I think some of the camera work, although most of it is excellent, some of it can be a little bit too roaming, and they need to just settle down a little bit. Some of it's just overly directed, but I'd rather have it overly directed than just static cameras all the time. And I love the way it sets up a lot of its characters by doing wonderful camera moves, particularly at that dinner sequence, which is elongated. It's a long sequence in the movie, but it's great. And as the hostess is delivering a lot of people's dirty laundry, the camera eases round the table, focusing on that one person who's starting to act a little bit uncomfortable about the next set of information that's coming out. The kills are wonderful. For a whodunit, I had no idea who it could possibly be. I had several guesses. They were all wrong, and I like that. I love when it keeps me guessing. The only thing is you could never have worked out who the killer was. That kind of robs the movie a little bit for me. You want to have the breadcrumbs. You want to be able to go at the end of it, oh, of course it's that person. How could I not see it? This one, there is nothing to kind of allude to the person that it is, which is a big down point on this movie. But from one of the most, I would say, like least talked about from this set, The Killer is 13, was ridiculously fun. I was like laughing at it, with it. I was enjoying it. I was loving all the conversations that had these double meanings and all the suspicious nature of all the partygoers as they suddenly realise that people they're with are not what they expected. I loved some of the relationships of the characters. The mother and son was hilarious. The way that she just constantly belittled and berated her son. I thought it was wonderful. All these characters are weird, up to no good, duplicitous in nature, and it adds to a great red herring for almost all of them as to who could possibly be the killer. The only thing you know is it's one of 13. I thought it was great. Not so much giallo as a whodunit, but with some giallo elements near the end. I thought it was terrific. I really enjoyed this one. I had so much fun with it. I was shocked looking at the reviews to see how people hated that first hour, where I was simply in my element. Before I put it on, I was a little bit tired. I instantaneously sat up, paid attention to all these wonderful characters, all these dirty laundry truths that were being aired, and watching the killer go about doing their business. Wonderful movie. I would love to know your opinion on The Killer is One of 13. Let me know in the comment box below, and I'll see you next time on Man v Film.